Welcome back to Good Morning Trinidad and Tobago here on CTV Talk City 91.1 FM. Remember, we're also online at ctntworld.com. Well, as we told you, we're standing by to join Sani Gray, who's going to be interviewing Archbishop Joseph Harris at his residence just around the Savannah. It's now over to Sani Gray.
Hi, good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and thank you so much, Leron. I'm here, like Leron said, at Archbishop House. We just heard from the head of the Sanatan Dharma Mahasabha, Satmaraj, reiterating his calls for the Archbishop not to get involved in their discussion. He seems to think it's a Hindu discussion on child marriage. So I'm here with Archbishop of Port of Spain, Father Joe Harris, and wanted to ask him to respond to some of the Sanatan Dharma, Satmaraj's comments. Good morning, Father Harris. How are you?
Good morning. How are you? Good morning to your viewers.
How are you feeling since Mr. Miraj condemned you?
I'm feeling fine. I don't really have a problem. I think the statements were unfortunate, to say the least. I have never disrespected any religious leader in Trinidad and Tobago. And I don't intend to go down that road. I don't think it's a productive way of discussion. Secondly, when I spoke out against child marriage, I was talking against child marriage in general. I did not realize that only Hindus had child marriages. As far as I know, child marriage exists in other religions and other cultures also. And I don't think that I selected out the Hindus as having the custom. So I don't know really where that came from.
Well, he seems to be wanting to advance the discussion into their right to have their own religious customs and beliefs. Is that fair? Is that a fair discussion? Even if it's not about child marriage, is that a fair thing to want?
Well, in today's world, we cannot live in glass, surrounded by glass, isolated from the rest of the world. Everybody gets into the discussion about a Catholic doctrine. Nobody says, that is a Catholic, I'm not going down that road. Everybody gets involved in it. We learn from others. So to lock ourselves into positions which say that because someone is not a Catholic or a Hindu, they cannot give their opinion is not right. It doesn't allow us or give us the opportunity to hear other opinions, which can help us grow. I am not aware that God's Spirit only speaks to Catholics. God's Spirit speaks to everyone. And John says to us that the Word, Christ, illumines every single human being who comes into the world. And therefore we have to be open to hearing. Often in the Gospels, Jesus will say, I have not found faith like this in Israel. He had found faith in people the Jews considered pagans. So that is my stance. I listened, and if there's something good from outside which can help me to grow and become more human, I accept it.
Let me talk to you about interreligious discussion, or specifically the interreligious organization, because the discussion advanced. I think it started with the Hindu Women's Organization, and then it advanced with the interreligious organization saying, don't get involved in child marriages. And they said that they unanimously voted for it, but then we found out that certain members weren't part of the discussion. What's happening with the IRO at the moment?
Candidly, the IRO has lost its way. the organization that people like Archbishop Anton, Bishop Abdullah, Mr. Wahid Ali and company started is extremely different to what we have now. And we have to find a way to bring it back on track, because there are some who believe that we should not be part of an organization which has lost its way to such an extent.
But you were saying this morning in Mass that religious leaders need to be an example, and the Arrow's core purpose was to be an alternative voice, but a voice of, religious leaders on important social, moral issues. Is the best option for the Catholic Church to leave the Arrow or to try and fix it from within? Or what do you suggest? What is your core feeling on how to repair the Arrow?
I never like leaving organizations unless there is no way in which I can fix it from within. If after dialogue I come to the conclusion that we cannot fix it from within, I will leave. I have already spoken to my clergy about it. And we understand the importance of interreligious dialogue. We understand that importance very well. We understand the need for us to come together and work on the things that unite us. But if we come to the conclusion that that is not working, then I don't see why the Catholic Church should remain part of an organization that doesn't help it to grow.
And what's your core feeling right now about the Arrow? How optimistic are you that it can be improved?
Well, I am a perennial optimist. So I always hope that there is a way forward. But if I don't find a way forward, I have no hesitation in saying I'm gone.
And so we've been having a lot of discussions about child marriage and all of that, but I know you, how happy are you with this taking such focus on the national landscape in terms of discussion?
I think that it's an important issue. I think we have to look after our children. I think we have to protect our children. So I'm not saying it is not important, but there are other very important issues that we should be focusing on.
And they are?
There's a whole debate on the SSA, which I don't think should be lost. There's a whole question.
What concerns you particularly about the SSA, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I am listening and I'm hearing the debate between the Attorney General and the Dean of the Law School. And both of them have. So it's an important thing for us to decide as a people what is important. And the balance that has to be maintained between the right to privacy and the right to protect citizens. It's an important balance to be maintained. Now, the Attorney General says that rules are being prepared for that. So we mustn't lose sight of these things. They are extremely important. I am not coming down on one side or the other. I want to make that very clear. But I think it's a discussion which we have to be aware of and look at. I think the issue of our judicial system has to be taken seriously. We committing crimes against human rights with the way our incarcerated citizens live. They have 8, 9, 10 people in a cell, half the size of this room. It's inhumane. And you cannot expect, if people are kept in inhumane conditions for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, that when they come out of these conditions, that they will be very human.
Is the church planning to ramp up its advocacy on this particular issue?
We have collecting at the moment all the signatures that have come in. I have a file this big of signatures. We're going to send it off to the president, and we're going to continue speaking and trying to see what can be done to ensure that the conditions in remand yard are changed a little bit.
Absolutely atrocious. Father Harris, sorry. Thank you so much for talking with us, but I'm getting the signal that we have to leave, though I feel as though I can sit down and talk to you forever. So you want to leave us with some words of wisdom, since, this is a rare opportunity to talk to you on morning?
I have always said Trinidadians and Tobagonians are the most creative people in the world. We are a very talented people. The gifts and talents that God has given to us are meant for the building up of the society. Unfortunately, so many of us think the gifts and talents that we have are to get us rich. No, they're for the building up of society. And my real desire is to see people using their gifts and talents to build up Trinidad and Tobago and make it into the country it is meant to be in the country it can be.
On that note, I want to hand over to my host, Leron Bromell, in studio, and back to you, Leron.
Thanks very much, Senior. Great talking to Archbishop Joseph Harris. Thanks very much. Stay with us. We're back after these messages on Good Morning, Trinidad and Tobago.